And today we're going to make deep dish pizza. This isn't any ordinary deep dish pizza. This has lots of great stuff in it, and let's check it out and let's get started. The first thing that we need is a springform pan and some parchment paper so that our pizza won't stick in the bottom. If you don't have a springform pan like I'm showing here, you can use just a regular cake tin. Alright, so let's grab our dough and let's get started. So I'm going to spread out the dough, flip it over, get a little bit of flour on it so that it doesn't actually stick to our work area, and then I'm going to grab my rolling pin and start rolling it out to the size that I need. Basically, think of doing this as just like a regular pie dough. You want to get it large enough that we're going to be able to get it into the pan, and we want it to come up over the sides of the pan. Alright, that looks pretty good to me, so let's try that out. So gently lift your rolled out dough, get it over the pan, and now kind of gently drop it in or drape it in like you would with fabric, so that you don't really want to stretch the dough at this point, and just gently push it in the corners and try to get a nice forming dough around and inside the actual pan. Alright, we're almost there. Looks pretty good, so let's get on with the ingredients. The first ingredient we're going to use is cheese, and we're going to get that cheese down in the bottom. Now basically what we're doing is we're doing everything backwards. Usually, the cheese is the last thing that you want to put on a pizza, but since this is a deep dish pizza, I'm doing everything backwards. The next thing that we want to do is we want to put in a layer of pepperoni. So let's speed this up a little bit, and because you don't want to sit here and watch me putting down the pepperoni for a couple of minutes in the pizza. Alright, that's done with. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to use baby spinach. And you don't have to cook this because this is going to bake in the oven long enough that the spinach is going to be totally cooked. So don't worry about putting it in like this. So this is pre-washed. So I'm going to get a nice layer in there. You can put in as little or as much as you want. I love spinach, so I put in quite a bit. And then what we're going to do is we're going to layer that with more sauce. And now I'm going to cut up some celery and put some celery in there. And you're probably thinking, celery? Is this guy nuts? Well, it's actually pretty good. Try it out. It gives a really nice crunch to the pizza. And now a second layer of cheese. Yum, yum, yum. So let's get the cheese on there and spread it around. And then we're going to be putting on a second layer of pepperoni. So let's speed this up again. And that looks pretty darn good. And then what we're doing is we're putting in the last layer of sauce. And that's it. And now what I'm going to do, and this is totally optional, you can actually cut off all of the excess dough that's on there, but I like the extra dough. So what I'm doing is just folding it over like this, and I'm going to put it in the oven like this. And now what I'm doing is I'm putting it on a tray just in case it actually leaks. So you don't want to mess in your oven. So always do it on a baking tray. Here it is in the oven just before it's starting to bake. And here it is in the oven when it's finished baking. And that all-important question, how long do you bake it? Well, I baked it for 1 hour at 400 degrees, and this is what you come up with. I cut this pizza when it just came out of the oven, so it's a little bit sloppy, but it's a great tasting pizza, so I want you to try it out. If you let it cool down a little bit before you cut it, you're going to get a nicer looking slice. This here is a picture that I took after it had cooled down, and you can see all the beautiful layers and how much nicer it cuts. It's a great recipe. I hope you try it out one day. So anyway, until next time, see you later.